Hello, and thank you for joining us on Classic Vinyl Podcast. This is the podcast where we listen to and review songs and every once in a while albums from the classic vinyl era of the 60s and 70s. I am one of your hosts, Justin, and like always, I'm joined in the studio, the basement studio that is, by the man that's made of silver, not of clay, my co-host, Tyler.
Winter is here again, oh Lord.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, actually, summertime is coming, but
one side of the calendar.
it's been like 90 degrees, but it's supposed to snow in a couple days. I don't understand the Utah weather.
Being caught in the rain and the sleet and the morning sun kisses the sky.
Yeah, that's kind of what's going on, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, of course, today we're doing Journey and their hit song, Wheel in the Sky. This was sent to us by Keith from Virginia. I don't know where in Virginia. It just said Keith in Virginia.
All right. Thank you, Virginia, for giving us your one, Keith.
I like Journey. I've always enjoyed Journey, and we probably won't get into a lot of Journey songs on this podcast just simply because most of their well-known stuff is from the 80s. There are a few songs we'll do, but Journey, I actually just a few weeks ago went to their concert down in Salt Lake at the Delta Center. It's my mother's favorite band. I've been to them a few times, and I think I took her for her birthday this time, and we've went together the previous times.
So what's your favorite Journey song?
I don't know if I really have a favorite Journey song. They cover, some of their 70s stuff is a lot harder rock than when they got in the 80s. And obviously all their 80s songs are well known. I can tell you my least favorite Journey song, and that is Don't Stop Believing. I am so sick of that damn song.
It's so overplayed. Do you know what my favorite is?
What's that?
Faithfully.
That's a good song.
It doesn't get that much overplay like Don't Stop Believing, but it has the same amount of passion behind it. I love
I like Open Arms.
Yeah.
And I do like Faithfully as well. But now, see, we're getting outside the 60s and 70s, and we're going to the 80s, and we're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, I know.
But let's get into a little history of the band Journey. So they were founded in 1973 in San Francisco, California. Founders of the band were Neil Schon on guitar, Greg Raleigh on keyboards and vocals, Ross Valerie on bass, George Tickner on guitar, and Prairie Prince on drums. What a name, Prairie Prince.
That is his real name.
Who knows? I don't think he stuck around for too long, but This band's been active from 1973 to today. And it's funny because where I just seen him, you've got Arnel, is it Pineda, I believe, is their vocalist now. We think of him as a replacement for Steve Perry, but he's been with the band longer than Steve Perry was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so kind of interesting there. But the key members of this band really were Neil Schon, Steve Perry, Jonathan Cain, Ross Valerie, Steve Smith, those guys. And when it originally formed, you had Neil Schon and Greg Raleigh forming because they were part of Santana, and it really began as kind of a jazz fusion progressive rock band that really, once it got into the late 70s and into the 80s, it really shifted into that arena rock style.
So Santana, like Carlos Santana?
Carlos Santana's band, yeah.
Interesting.
So they did sign their first record contract in 1973 with Columbia Records. Now this band, no matter what you think of Journey, they have sold over almost 120 million albums worldwide.
They're a good band.
Well, whether they're good or not, people bought their shit.
Yeah. When I was in college, there was this kid that said, Journey's a one-hit wonder. I'm like, which one? Which one's their one hit?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because when we went to the concert, my wife likes Journey and knows most of the songs, but kind of like you on some of them, she's like, oh, I know that song. I know that song. We sat there and listened through like 19 songs. She's like, I know every single one of these.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I didn't necessarily know they were Journey, but Journey has a lot of songs.
Yeah, they do.
And that's why they were one of the most commercially successful bands from the late 70s and all through the 80s, without a doubt. But their peak era was 78 to 86. That's kind of their sweet spot.
That's kind of Steve Perry years, right?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. And Don't Stop Believing, I don't know why, but it's one of the best-selling digital songs in rock and roll history, and you hear it everywhere in pop culture. And that's the only thing that pisses me off about them, but
is that they're too popular.
Well, not that they're too popular. They're just popular for that song. I feel like it's almost...
it's a decent song, but I wouldn't consider even one of their best.
It seems to me like a punchline at this point.
Yeah.
In a way. But so as far as their discography is concerned, they've released 15 studio albums, 11 live albums, 2 EPs, 17 compilations, 5 different box sets, and 52 singles. Now, here in the U.S., as far as their albums are concerned, they had 14 albums in the top 100, 11 albums in the top 40, and 8 albums in the top 10. That's pretty strong.
Yeah, I'll say.
So their top albums, they had Escape from 1981, hit number 1, Frontiers from 1983, hit number 2, and Raised on Radio from 1986, hit number 4. UK, they had 8 albums in the top 100, 5 in the top 40, 1 top 10 album. You had Frontiers also hit number 6, Escape number 32, and Raised on the Radio number 38. So still the top 3 charting is what they had here in the U.S. So they had the same top 3 charting albums in the UK as they did in the US. They just didn't do quite as well. Now in Canada, they had 12 albums in the top 100, 10 in the top 40, and 7 in the top 10. You had Escape at number 1, Frontiers at number 1, and Evolution from 1979 did hit number 6. So, I mean, they had worldwide success here in North America, Japan, Europe. I mean, huge band. It's just crazy when you talk about one hit wonder. There is no one hit. Yeah, maybe
for real.
one a year.
Yeah, that was like the one of the highlights of my college years was that conversation I had with this kid where he's like, "Yeah, Journey's a one hit wonder." I'm like, what?
Well, yeah. Let's talk about their singles. They've released, like I said earlier, they've released a total of 52 singles. They had 18 singles in the top 100. 16 singles in the top 40 and 6 singles in the top 10. That's pretty strong. Here in the U.S., Open Arms was their top charting single ever at number 2. Who's Crying Now, number 4, and Separate Ways World Apart, number 8. Now in the U.K., 6 singles in the top 100, 2 in the top 40. They didn't have any in the top 10 in the U.K., but their top single in the UK was Don't Stop Believin' at number 6, and that was actually when it was reissued, so it kind of did well later. Previous to that, you had Separate Ways and Open Arms both hitting number 43. So in Canada, they had 14 singles in the top 100, 11 in the top 45 in the top 10. Who's Crying Now hit number 3, Open Arms number 3, and Don't Stop Believing number 4. I shouldn't say Don't Stop Believing, Don't Stop Believin'.
Yeah.
No G on that.
There's no G on that at all.
So the band was inducted into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2017, and they're obviously still touring to this day. Neil Schon and Jonathan Cain, they're kind of the only original, I guess. Jonathan Cain's not original, but original from the early 80s on. Neil Schon, a founding member when we went and seen him. I mean, he still plays the hell out of that guitar.
Really?
He likes playing solos, yeah.
Nice.
And I mean, as far as this band's concerned with their legacy, I mean, they really defined that arena rock sound, the vocals from Steve Perry. When you talk about one of the best vocalists of all time, Steve Perry's got to be up there. The melodic sound of this band, the melodic guitar work. I think they really had crossover appeal too, because they're a pretty heavy band, but they also have their ballads and stuff. And I think that's kind of what Steve Perry brought to the band.
Steve Perry's got a fairly high tenor voice.
Yeah.
So to melodize, or not melodize, to harmonize. So to harmonize with such a high tenor, that takes some skill.
He's an amazing singer. And I know there was always tensions in the band that he was leading them into more of a soft tone, and I think that's kind of what made the band popular, because he was leading them in the soft tone, but you still had that heavy guitar and heavy sound to it. So it was kind of an interesting sound. It would be good to see him with the band again, but it doesn't sound like that's ever going to happen. He did have a pretty successful solo career. You know, Neil Schon's been in a bunch of other bands. Jonathan Cain's been in a bunch of other bands, but they always tour with Journey. So it's still a machine going, and I would suggest to anybody that has a chance to go see him, because they were as powerful as ever, and I saw him just a few weeks ago.
Well, I'll tell you, from this song and a couple other Journey songs, I'd say that Steve Perry doesn't much care for the road life of touring.
I guess not.
I mean, that's kind of the theme.
Yeah, and this was in the late 70s, too, so
yeah,
he already knew what he wanted. Do you want to get the song review?
Let's review it.
And now it's time for the song review.
So, Tyler, we have Journey Wheel in the Sky, suggested to us by one Keith in Virginia. What is your history with this song?
This is an interesting song for Keith to recommend from Journey. This isn't my number one. I've already said what my number one Journey song is, but I'm familiar with this one. I'm fairly familiar. I've listened to it over and over again. Journey was one of the first albums I got.
Do you remember what album that was, or was it a greatest hits or something?
I think it was a greatest hits, Journey's greatest hits, because this one was on there along with a lot of the other ones. Don't Stop Believing, Open Arms, and
Faithfully.
Yeah, what was the other ones that you listed off earlier? That Who's Crying Now? Separate Ways, that's the one. This one, I put this one probably on par with Separate Ways. Good song, good tone to it. It kind of has a little bit of a Western feel compared to the rest of Journey's hits, but I enjoy it. It's a good song. Just not my favorite.
Well, let's get into a little history about Wheel in the Sky. So it was released on January 19th of 1978 in the U.S. on Columbia Records, but not released until February 13th of 1978 in the U.K. on CBS Records. Now, the B-side in both the U.S. and the U.K. was a song called Can Do. This is from the album Infinity. Infinity itself reached number 21 on the charts here in the U.S., number 56 in the U.K., and number 24 in Canada. So the album Infinity has sold over 3 million copies in the U.S. and over 5 million copies worldwide. The album is certified 3 times platinum by the RIAA. This song obviously is well known. The song Lights is another song we'll probably do from Journey since it falls into the 70s. And the thing that made this popular is this marked the debut of Journey's new lead vocalist, Steve Perry. This album did. Oh. And this really put this band into mainstream. And I kind of consider this song the early Journey, even though it is Steve Perry. I've heard some of their pre-Steve Perry stuff, and they're a completely different band.
This is like the very beginning of his career with Journey, and he's already complaining about having to go on the road.
Yeah, exactly. Probably hasn't even been on the road yet.
For real.
Should have known. But this song is written by Steve Perry, Neil Schon, and Diane Valerie. Lead vocals, of course, are by Steve Perry. And as this was recorded, you've got Steve Perry on lead vocals, Neil Schon on lead guitar, Greg Raleigh on keyboards and backing vocals, Ross Valerie on bass, and Ainsley Dunbar on drums.
I'm guessing that Ross is Diane's husband.
I'm guessing so.
So they sat around with their, Ross is the bass, sat around with their bassist wife writing a song.
I guess so. I mean,
God, there's something on the tour bus.
I don't know. You think Ross could have lent a hand, but he just sent his wife.
Yeah, for real.
So this was recorded in 1977 at Cherokee Studios in Los Angeles and produced by Roy Thomas Baker. Roy Thomas Baker obviously is well known for producing Journey, of course. He's worked with Queen, The Cars, Foreigner, all pretty big 80s, 70s and 80s bands, really. Yeah. As far as the song is concerned, it does feature those huge layered vocal harmonies from Steve Perry and the rest of the band. You've got the keyboards, which are always a huge part of Journey, from Greg Raleigh even into Jonathan Cain, of course, who's still with the band to this day. But, with Neil Schon, they're really a guitar-driven band, mixing with that keyboard sound. They even still kind of put in their progressive roots, their progressive rock roots. You can hear that. And they got the hooks down, the melody down. That's kind of, I think, what put this band in is all those songs, whether it's Journey or maybe you think it's Foreigner or REO Speedwagon or something through the 80s, those hooks are strong on these songs. And I think all of them are very, very well known. So the runtime on this song is just barely over 4 minutes. So when you listen to this song, and if you can understand all the lyrics, it does reflect loneliness and being completely exhausted from constant touring life. So he was really inspired by road travel with the band and distance from home. So I don't know if it's from Steve Perry's point of view, if he was working with other bands, or if it's just kind of a writing in a third person type of thing. I'm not sure, but you get that with the lyrics.
Yeah. Well, I mean, can you imagine being a rock star that goes to concerts and you just get up and sing song after song, but I hate going on tour. I hate writing. And there's a lot of songs out there that are about this sort of thing.
Yeah, they kind of are, but would you ever think that by just listening to this song? When I hear The Wheel in the Sky keeps on turning, It kind of just sounds to me like life goes on. The world keeps moving, you know?
Well, like, is it Bob Seger has Turned the Page?
Yeah.
Same song, right?
Yeah, basically.
But even more like in your face. Like, yeah, this is what I hate about touring life.
But I think what makes that different for you is you dive so deep into the lyrics.
I do.
I mean, I've listened to this song for years and years and years and never really put that together as much as that, they're tired of the, it's wearing on them, the touring and things like that. This is the song that was really the breakthrough hit for this band and especially catapulted the Steve Perry era.
Yeah.
Which, let's be honest, with Journey, there really is no serious Journey band without Steve Perry.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and a common misconception about the phrase "wheel in the sky" that it refers to some kind of celestial object, but it really is metaphorical.
Okay, because I've been thinking about this, like, okay, what is that wheel in the sky? And you have tried so hard to break me of this bad habit of trying to think. So I think you're right. It's metaphorical, and it's probably just more giving you that that image of, okay, maybe the sun is the wheel in the sky that just keeps going around.
Maybe
around.
Maybe the plane that they're traveling on is the wheel in the sky, because if you're traveling on a bus, it's the wheels on the bus go around and around.
Yeah.
And what do you say about a plane? It's kind of the wheel in the sky, right? It's moving around the world.
Yeah, it just keeps turning.
Yeah, so this song didn't do super well, but it was a breakthrough for them. It reached number 57 on the U.S. Billboard charts. Did not chart in the UK, but did reach number 44 in Canada, so it did a little better there. Estimated single sales on this are about 500,000, which is pretty decent for, I wouldn't say a starting band, but they were starting over with a new lead vocalist.
Yeah, they would have been what we'd call like a B-rate band up until this point. This is what kind of made them an A-list.
The funny thing is growing up, this was one of my favorite Journey songs because to me it seemed more raw than a lot of their 80s stuff. And I was always familiar with their 80s stuff because my mom was always playing it and obviously loves Journey, but I come to love all their 80s stuff. I absolutely adore it, except Don't Stop Believing.
Well, that's because Journey is really an excellent love song band.
They are. And the one thing I can say is a lot of people consider them love songs and just kind of hooky and kind of soft rock. But if you go listen to this band play, they're a heavy band.
They are.
They really are when it comes down to it. As far as this song, this appears on all their greatest hits, all their compilations. It's on all their live releases. This is one of their staples, obviously. And, live versions generally feature Neil Sean really ripping out on guitar for a lot longer solos and audience sing-along sections, things like that. Neil Sean, he's one of the main founders of this band, and I think he acts like he knows it. But he is an excellent guitarist. There have been a lot of alternate takes of this, extended versions, things like that, on a lot of their expanded reissues and box sets and things like that. I couldn't really find any good covers of this song that were noteworthy, which is kind of strange because I think it would be a good song to cover. Yeah, the song's appeared in a lot of films, TV, commercial. It's another one that's played in sports arenas, heavily featured on any classic rock radio station you listen to at all. So
I think a lot of that has to do with that heavy guitar at the beginning.
Yeah, and it's got a good hook. I mean, for a chorus, it really does.
Sure does. So with this song being as popular as it is, I'm surprised that it wasn't in the top 10.
Yeah, so it reached number 57, but I really think, just like any band, I think as they got more popular in the 80s, then I think a lot of people start looking back to what else they've done. And I think as time goes by, things get played heavily on classic rock radio. And so they become almost bigger than they were originally. And I think that's kind of the case with this song.
This is like when our new listeners go and listen to our backlog of original stuff from the first season.
Yeah, I guess it's something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Tyler, after we spent this week listening to this song, and we just listened to it right before we hit record here in the basement studio, what are your thoughts on Journey, Wheel in the Sky?
This song is one that I have tried to crack this nut before and not been successful because I want that wheel in the sky to be something more tangible
instead of metaphorical.
Yeah. And so I tried this again, and it's just not coming. There's nothing tangible. I think the closest that we can get is either the sun going around the earth over and over and over again, and time just keeps going. It could be like a ticking clock that he just sees that time keeps going, or the wheels on the bus keep going round and round, sort of thing. That's the closest I'm going to get to concrete. This is not a concrete song. This is a metaphorical song. This guy is singing about his feelings, and that's what it is. I mean, he's like, okay, the wheel in the sky just keeps on turning, and that's his life. His life is being out on the road, and he's been away from home for so long. It sounds like there is a significant other at home that he really misses, and he wonders if she's going to be sticking around much longer, waiting on him to come home. I guess we'll see, but that's kind of the harshness of the life of a rock star. Is I'm sure that there's great money, obviously, but it comes at a huge cost, and a lot of that cost is being able to live your life rather than just working all the time. And it's hard work to be performing and writing and practicing and playing all the time.
Especially when winter's just come in again, oh Lord.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he hasn't been home in a year or more, and he's hoping that she'll hold on just a little bit longer.
Just a little bit longer.
She's probably already shacked up with somebody.
No, it's kind of military wife thing, right?
Yeah, and then he's going to have some big hits in the 80s, and she's going to be pissed off.
Yeah.
She's not with him anymore.
Exactly. Just enjoy the swimming pool. He'll be home soon. So this song, I've had a great time listening to it. It does have excellent instrumentals right from the get-go. This song I get mixed up with Stairway to Heaven on the intro, because they both have this really soft guitar open, and then all of a sudden the it gets going and the electric guitar kicks in, and it's amazing.
I think that you must be drunk, because I don't hear any Stairway to Heaven in this song. I'm sorry.
Just at the very beginning.
Well, no, I get what you're saying, but I know both songs so well. I kind of get what you're saying, but I still think you're drunk.
I know.
Okay, so, fair enough.
Fairness to what Justin's saying, if I sit down and listen to Stairway to Heaven's intro and Wheel in the Sky's intro, they don't sound at all alike. But
you have to make a reference.
In my head, they do.
Fair enough. I mean, that's what it's about. That's what we're talking about, right?
I think Stairways to Heaven, isn't they even a harpsichord or something?
No, it's a guitar.
It's a guitar? Okay.
Yeah, but the thing, and we're going to be doing Led Zeppelin 4 very soon. That's our next Led Zeppelin album, which has Stairway to Heaven on it. Okay. So we'll see if you make any Will in the Sky references when we get to that point.
Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, just listen to our backlog listeners. I repeat myself sometimes when I really get hung up on something and we do two songs that sound similar. I'll reference each of the songs.
Yeah, and see, I think you're trying to be more, instead of metaphorical about it, you're thinking, okay, there's a stairway to heaven way up there in the sky where the wheel is.
And I'm going to find that stairway that goes up to the wheel in the sky that keeps on turning.
Yeah, and you probably, before you climb the stairway, you probably should quit drinking.
Probably.
Okay, fair enough.
But I need my juice.
From a famous non-drinker.
Exactly. Who goes and gets a box of wine and then carries it around with a huge straw sticking out of it.
Yeah, sure you do.
Oh, yeah, because I'm an aspiring drinker one of these days. So I said that this song has a little bit of a Western feel to it, and I think that's intentional. It's supposed to feel like you're almost like a lone cowboy that's been out riding the range a long time. This is a song that people who have been on the road and lived life on the road, that's a feeling that they'd be very familiar with. We don't get that kind of person so much as we used to. Used to have traveling salesmen, door-to-door salesmen that would go town to town, and they would live life on the road. We still have our performing artists that's how life is on the road, or circus performers, or carnies. There's still some jobs out there. Truck drivers out on the road for weeks on end. They get that kind of sense. This is a song that's really going to resonate with those types of people, because you're just out there and it's lonely because it's just you and you're just making a buck, trying to pay the bills. it's a lonely life and you yearn for home. Just got to keep going because there's always one more tour, one more town, one more concert, one more load, whatever you're doing to go and do. I think that this song really resonated with a lot of people, especially at the time, because the Fuller Breshmen were still going around at this time, door-to-door salesmen. So, yeah, you had a lot of people that this song really resonated with. It's got some excellent guitar work. When you mentioned that a lot of these guys used to play with Carlos Santana, you hear a little bit of that in it too. It's kind of like, maybe that's what I'm getting, that Western feel to it. It's not really country though. It's Western. It's just kind of cowboy without being country. And that's going to be really difficult for most listeners to understand, I think.
It's pretty difficult for me to understand right here. I think I'm going to go back to You're Drunk.
Yeah, probably. That's a lot more reasonable explanation.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
I'm not as deep as I pretend to be, but I want to be. This song is easy on the ears. Like you said, it's kind of more raw sounding than your later Journey. This is where Journey begins, and it's a fun, excellent sound, and it really moves. You know, it's got that real rolling rhythm, and the way that the guitar just keeps driving, the bass keeps laying it down, and the drums keep pushing it. It just keeps driving like time. It never stops. It just always going forward. This poor guy just can't ever seem to get a break to go home. I enjoyed it. I think this time listening through, after hearing this song for years and years and hundreds of listens, it just kind of struck me that the loneliness of this song. It is an upbeat song, but it's mostly just upbeat in its tune and how it's just a fast driving song, but it is really lonely when you listen to the lyrics. What are your thoughts about Wheel in the Sky, Justin?
I'm getting kind of lonely over here.
I know, because I keep droning on.
Well, you're fine. I still stick with the drunk theory. This was probably for me one of my favorite. Well, this was my favorite Journey song early on because it's more rocking than some of the other ones you get. And I'll tell you this much: this is a pretty heavy song when you hear it in concert. It's got to get that light guitar intro that's nothing like Stairway to Heaven, but then it hits hard into the drums and bass and the guitar. It goes into it. It's got a very recognizable riff in it. And like I said, it's the bass, the drums, the guitar, they're all pretty heavy. You've got, I think, with Steve Perry's debut album with Journey, I mean, his vocals are really what made Journey at this point. Not saying they weren't a good band, but he took them to another level with songwriting and with his sounds and things like that. The chorus just hits hard in this one, no matter what you think of it, whether you think way too hard about it like you do in the lyrics, or whether you just listen to it as a song like I generally do, you know, and I'm just as guilty as not thinking hard enough about lyrics as you are thinking too hard about them. So I guess that's why we make a good conversationalist sometimes.
Well, it's also why you look over at me and say, why are you thinking so hard about this?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Maybe they just wanted to rhyme, Ty.
We need to do a few more instrumental songs so
for real
we can get out of the lyric discussion. But it's got a really good guitar solo. Neal Schon's an amazing guitar player. I think his guitar tone in this one is spot on. And I think as much as Neal Schon battled with Steve Perry going forward of him playing too soft songs and maybe being too emotional and too lovey-dovey, I think that it was kind of productive in having both sides of that. So it's a song I've always liked.
Because that's what's going to get you laid.
Well, yeah. And when you compare a band, a world famous band, to a truck driver or a traveling salesman, I can see how they want to get home when they're making pennies on the dollar. These guys are damn near millionaires.
Yeah.
So quit your bitching about it. Of course, they probably weren't at this point, right? Because this is their breakout. But still, you know, but a good song. I've always enjoyed it. Do you want to get to the song rating?
Let's rate it.
Song rating.
Okay, listener, if this is your first episode, I will briefly explain our rating scale. It's 0 to 10, 10 being the best. This is a good Journey song. It's not a great Journey song, so I put it at a 7. I think I am a bigger fan of their 80s work, but it's still a good song. It's north of 5. I put it a solid 7. Where do you put it, Justin?
Yeah, I like this song. Probably not as much as I used to, funny enough, but then when I sit down to listen to it like this, I'm kind of in love with it a little bit again. I rate this song a 7.5. I think it's a very strong song, but there are songs in the 80s that I just like more than this one, but it's good to be able to go back and forth to them. One thing I haven't really explored a lot of is their early 70s stuff before Steve Perry. Maybe there's a reason it's not that popular, but maybe it's good too. It's something I really need to look into. But I've got about 100 bands that I really need to look further into, and I don't have as much time as I think I should. But Keith, we appreciate the suggestion on Journey Wheel in the Sky. If you want to send us an email and let us know what you would rate it, what you think of our rating, if you have any songs or albums you'd like us to rate, send them all to classicvinylpodcast@gmail.com. And like always, we really appreciate your time. Listen to us. It means a lot.
You know, listener, we really do care about what your opinions are. Why don't you send us your ratings?
So until next time, see you later.
See ya.
Thank you so much for listening to Classic Vinyl Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe on Spotify or Apple Podcast or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Follow us on Instagram at Classic Vinyl Podcast for updates, and also share us with your music-loving friends.